Hello everybody, welcome to 6148 2018. Woo! I'm Aaron, for those of you who don't know. I see a bunch of familiar faces here and a bunch of not so familiar faces, but it's all great. This is my third year doing 6148. I competed freshman year, helped teach last year, and now I'm running the class this year. So really love 6148. I think it's super fun. I love to teach, and it's really fun to be able to teach fellow MIT students. So first, welcome again. Another round of applause. Yay! And so I don't know how much you guys know, but you might have seen an email about 6148 that you'll get to learn web development, and you might have seen like on the Stellar, but what exactly is 6148? And we just collected like a bunch of quotes from some people. Like, I think for me especially what resonated was that was my first experience creating something. Especially I came to 6148 as a freshman, and high school I barely programmed, and first semester I just took GIRs. So I really hadn't taken a programming class before. I didn't know if I wanted to do 6.3. And so basically I did it with a bunch of friends and we had a blast. So it was my first experience creating something. It's definitely a crash course on web development. In case you guys didn't already think so, web development is huge. Like, even knowing where to start is really hard. And unlike some things like math, the landscape is changing very frequently. So being able to know that you have a good foundation is really hard, and we're going to do our best to teach you that. And yeah, that's really fun. Some of you might be a taste of 6.3. You're in the same shoes I was in freshman year, not knowing whether you wanted to major in it. Well, this is something like a taste of it. Some people might argue it's different, but that is fine. And then you guys probably already know there's lunch every day, so get hyped. And also, you get the chance to win money. So yeah, that is a little bit about what 6148 is. Basically, to describe it a little bit more of what you'll be doing in terms of the class, we're going to take you end to end. And what that means is we're going to help you guys come up with an idea. We'll have a lecture on how to ideation today, and we'll be having project pitches this weekend. Which basically is a chance for you guys to talk to sponsors and to staff about your ideas and get feedback. So that is ideas, and in the end we'll take you to a website that looks like this. Maybe not quite as fancy, but hopefully close. And we're going to be available for support and try to help prep you guys as best as we can. But it's going to be a lot of work, and it should be great. So first, probably should introduce the staff. We have Monday, Danny over there. 2019s are me, Slava. I don't know where Slava is. Oh, hi Slava. Joanne and me, Rupayan. And our 2020 is Robert, who I think is in the process of helping prep the food stuff. And then also we can't forget to mention our faculty sponsor, Nikolai Zeldovich, who to this date I have not even seen, even once in the hallway. So I hope to meet him at some point, maybe next year, or this year.
9th floor of 32G.
So that is one thing I also didn't make a slide for by accident, is this year we'll have 2 TAs, Ashish Welling and Alex Chen. They will be around in office hours a lot, so if you guys have any questions, they will be the guys that will help you in office hours. And some staff members will go there as well, but they'll be the consistent people at office hours. And also, can't forget to mention sponsors. Sponsors are super important for this class. They provide us money so we can run the class, and they also provide us money so we can give money to you guys. And hopefully you guys can get hired by these sponsors and bring money back to them. So, just introduce our largest sponsor first, PTC. They do a ton of Internet of Thingsy type of stuff. Really cool company, and they're moving into Boston this year. And then, I'm not going to describe all of these, you probably know what Facebook is. Facebook, Appian, Office of Digital Learning are the gold sponsor this year. And the silver sponsors are Bloomberg, Palantir, NextJump, Oracle, and Meteor. So those are the sponsors this year. And now, for the big moment you've all been waiting for, the theme. I know you guys must be super excited. Can we get a drum roll, please? All right, so the theme for this year. Well, actually, all right, we'll get to the theme later. I don't want you guys to get too excited for it. We'll get to the theme a little bit. So first, let's just cover what exactly is a website. I think that is a good foundation to start from because some people are confused. They might have heard the word web application before. They've also might have heard the term website before, probably website more. Some people might say there's a difference between the two, but we can describe it and then it's not too bad. So definition-wise, website is something that's driven by like content and information. A good example would be something like a recipe website where they provide you a recipe. It's pure like they just give you the content and you don't really interact with it that much. And versus a web app, it's basically much more driven by interactions with the user. So a good example would be like a game where you're very heavily interacting with the application and you have a much more interactive experience with the website. So we're going to play a little game. You guys shout out, is this a website or a web app? What do you think? Nice. Website. Very good. You guys are very enthusiastic. I love it. How about this? Agra.io. Great game. There you go. Web app. How about a harder one? Facebook. Is it a website or a web app? Yes. I feel like that's a good response. It's actually pretty hard. You're definitely heavily interacting with Facebook. You're making posts all the time, and you're like commenting on other people's posts. But really, is it just a web app? Because the content and the information it provides is really the main reason why we're going to Facebook. So it's a little bit blurring the lines, and the point is, it doesn't really matter. The fact is understanding what our goal is in this class is to make something where you can interact with the website, which is what we really want. We don't want to help teach you guys how to make something that just provides static pages and doesn't have any form of interaction. And yeah, that's the goal of this class, is to make something that's interactive and great. So you guys might be thinking, well, what's the process in making these applications? It's definitely complicated. We're having a class on it. But first, let's even think about how you even view these applications, because that's really the first step. So let's talk about accessing the website. So you go to xkcd.com, and you want to know what happens. So you are the client, and you're accessing it from your, basically, computer, and there's a server somewhere running xkcd. And you might not know what a server is, but really all that matters is this server is just a computer just like you, and it's somewhere far, far away that's holding a whole bunch of files. When you type in xkcd.com, you make something called a GET request. And basically, all that does is you ask over the internet for it to send you a bunch of files, so you can render xkcd. So that server is holding these web page files, and it sends them to you. And you have a program that's used to view these web page files. That program is better known as Chrome or any browser. But really, we're only going to be using Chrome in this class because all the other browsers kind of suck. So, what are these web page files, you might ask? Great. Let's go into them. So, there's four main things. There's HTML, which is basically what's on your page. It's describing what where the elements of your page will be, like whether you're going to have an image here or some text there. That's all driven by HTML. CSS, on the other hand, CSS is how you make things look pretty. If you didn't have any CSS, you literally just see 12-point font and 0, it would look disgusting. So CSS is how you make everything look pretty. And JavaScript is basically, in some sense, the glue. And it's how, if you guys have buttons, how to make things interact with your website, how to make things happen. And that's what JavaScript is for. Lastly, our assets, like images, videos. If you link to something on your page that's like an image, for example, you'll need your assets too. Now, you might ask what Chrome is. Basically, Chrome is just the text renderer, and it has an engine in it as well to be able to view the files and navigate around. So that's how you view the applications. Now let's talk about how you make them. Actually, my friends are going to do a much better job in explaining how you make them this week. We'll have a bunch of lectures. Tuesday is going to, basically today is going to be introduction to HTML and CSS. Tomorrow we're going to dive more into HTML, CSS, and we're also going to bring up JavaScript. So basically what the client is dealing with. On Wednesday we're going to bring up the backend, which is the server, and how these servers are run and how they serve content to the user. And on Thursday we're going to scale up this server because we're going to deal with databases and how to get users to actually integrate with your website. Okay, all right, now I think we can have the theme. We've got some stuff out of the way. But we probably should talk about class logistics. Because if I describe the theme, you're all so excited, and then we go into class logistics, super boring. It's not a good transition. So, no, let's just get class logistics out of the way, and then I promise you we'll have the theme. So, course policies. This is kind of boring stuff. If you guys didn't know, you probably do. There's 4 credit and 4 competition segment of this class. You guys can sign up for both, you can sign up for neither, you can sign up for one. They're kind of for different things. The credit is for MIT, competition is for us. So, credit, there's 6 units of credit you can get from this class. Super exciting, I know. For competition, you have a chance for winning first, getting glory, and a chance for cash. For both of these things, you're going to complete what we call milestones, which we have along the way and are a way to kind of track your progress and make sure that we know what you guys are in a good spot and you're doing a good job. And the only difference in terms of submitting the final product is that for credit, and if you're not doing the competition, you just need to get us the website by the end of IAP. However, if you're doing for competition, we want to make sure that you submit a website that fits the theme by milestone 3. The reason for that is because we have judging, and you guys are going to be presenting, so we can't have you guys just do it right the last day of IAP. You guys wonder if you're eligible, like non-MIT students, whatever. Check the rules, it's on our website. And milestone 0 will be released this probably this afternoon and ready for this Wednesday. And basically all milestone 0 will be is a way for you guys to sign up as a team. Highly recommend doing this class in a team. I think I got way more out of it. Being able to yell at somebody at 3 a.m. in the morning when you're working on it was really fun. Being able to make passive-aggressive Git commits at each other, it's really great. But I think working as a team helps a lot for learning. If you have a question, struggling on it with a friend really helps. If you don't have a team, we're going to have something on Piazza, and you guys can congregate after class today to find a team. Also, you can do it on your own. It's not like mandatory to work with a team, so I'm not trying to force it too strong. All right, let's talk about main versus casual. So we have 2 divisions in this class, strictly speaking for the competition. We have main and casual. There's several differences between the 2. Main has more money, casual has less money. Main has harder competition, casual has an easier experience. There's higher expectations for the judges in main and lower expectations for the judges in casual. But basically it comes down to these 2 things. Do you guys have other commitments and don't plan on working too seriously on 6148? You might want to do casual. If you guys want to, if you have a bunch of 6148 like web development experience and you want to work your butt off, then go to main. So basically, it's just these 2 things. I think it sums it up pretty well. You're going to have to work a ton anyways if you're in main, and it's really fun. There's a small note regarding divisions if you guys don't know this. We have some requirement on how many course 6s upperclassmen can be in a casual team, just so it's not totally unbalanced. So make sure you check that, and we'll be checking that on milestone 0 submissions. Now, for course overview. This week, we'll be basically giving you staff lectures on teaching you how to build a website. It's really cool this year. We're going to do something new, where for all the workshops this year, we're basically going to build a website with you. So starting on Tuesday, really, we're going to start from scratch. And every lecture that we have, or rather every workshop, we're going to add some feature to this website, be it integrate with users, integrate a database, set up a server. And ideally, by the end of this week, we're going to have a fully functional website with you guys, and it'll kind of give you guys an idea of the workflow that staff go through when building a website. Week 2 is going to be advanced topics taught by guest lecturers mainly. So basically all our sponsors do guest lectures. PTC is going to be doing something about their company and how, like, web development. Everything's going to be tied to web development in some sense. It's pretty interesting to see from the perspective of somebody from like industry. Some other things that happened that I didn't mention, there will be a raffle in week 2, so if anyone at lecture is going to get some raffle tickets, and at the end we'll probably be giving away some iPads or something like that, so there's more incentive to come. And we'll also have a hackathon at the end of week 2, which this is basically, 6148 itself is basically a long hackathon. We'll have a mini hackathon at the last day of week 2, which is going to last for about 6 to 7 hours, and basically it's just meant for you guys to get a good start on your website and let staff help you. Week 3, no more classes, just coding, and by the end of week 3 we want something called a minimum viable product, which is just something that works, basically. Go into more detail when it comes out. Week 4 is code, 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 even more emphasized because it's going to be a rush to get everything done, and the final submission is the end of week 4. There's judging and awards as well. So, if you want more information, you can go to our schedule on our course website or go to that link. Milestone. So milestone 0 is ideation and team formation. So I think it's going to be due either this Wednesday or Thursday. Is we're going to want you guys to have your teams fully set up, and we're also going to want you guys to submit to us several ideas. And you're going to star several of your ideas that you want feedback on, and the staff are going to make sure we respond to every team, giving our feedback on every idea. Project pitches is a better format for you guys to iterate on your ideas. We're going to ask you to wireframe your top choices and present them to sponsors and to staff, and we'll give you more feedback. That is going to be this weekend, so sorry for all of you mystery hunters. It's not going to be too long for you guys, hopefully, and there really was no other time. Minimum viable product is milestone 2. That's just, we want something that we can work with and play with, and that is going to be at the end of week 3, and week 4 is the final website. What we want. So basically, we don't want somebody just making like super static website and then trying to submit to a competition. We want something dynamic. We want something that you can make user accounts in, interact with the website. It's going to have to fulfill some minimum security requirements that we talk about, and it needs to have an original design and implementation, which is very important. Additionally, you're going to have to use Git on a 6148 GitHub repo. If you guys don't have Git, highly recommend, or not highly recommend, I insist you make an account. You're going to need it for this class, and particularly we're going to have a lecture on how Git works tomorrow if you don't know. So don't be afraid if you don't know how to use Git at all. It's really useful. Things you cannot do in this class. Unfortunately, I have to go into this. Things like WordPress, Squarespace, website helper builders. Not good. Using a previous project and copy-pasting a bunch of code. Not good. Use your, think. Outsource your development. No, sending a big, task to, people in Russia or whatever, and then getting them to write your website for you. Nothing evil. I don't want to be downloading malware from, your websites. Though I'd be pretty impressed if your first website, you could make us download malware. Then code 64 IAP rules if you want more information. What we judge for. Basically, we want to make sure your website works. We want to make sure that it's really easy to use your website. We want to make sure it looks good. And we want to, one thing that's really important that I really enjoy about 6148 is you basically have a week to come up with an idea, which for some of you might be difficult, is it really lets you think of something that you're interested in, I think, or more passionate than a hackathon where ideation and execution is ideation gets nixed and you basically just have to come up with something. You have a lot of time to come up with something that you guys might be passionate about, and I think if it's a unique problem that you guys solve, definitely judges respond to that. Versus if you implement Facebook 2.0, I don't think people are going to be that excited about it. Where do you get help from? Biggest thing is Piazza. The staff, we pride ourselves on having like a 2-minute Piazza response time. So basically, the second you guys post, we're going to be on it trying to respond to you guys. So if you have any questions that you need quick responses to, go to Piazza. If you don't have something that can be answered or like you want more like personal help, office hours are every Monday and Wednesday, except on the week before the final like hand-in, we'll have it every day. Office hours are in Stata, 32044, it's in the basement of Stata, 7 to 9 p.m. And there's a hackathon for you guys to get like 7 hours of personal time help. There's resources on our website, and I think the most important one that all of them relate to is us as staff. Like, honestly, feel free to ask us questions all the time. We're trying to be super helpful for you guys. So like, you see me walking down the hallway and you have a question, you're like, flag me down. I honestly don't care. Like, I'm more than happy to help. Like, Facebook me if you have me on Facebook or you want to add me on Facebook. I'm more than happy. Like, if you need some, we want to make sure we can help you guys. So if you have any questions, just come to us and we'll try to help. Hackathon, I described it a little bit, is basically just extended office hours. We'll have some food, get shit done. Alright, finally, now we can go to the theme. Our theme is really exciting this year, so we can go into what the themes were for the previous years. 2015 was Around the World, 2016 was Remember the Future, 2017 was Beyond the Horizon. As you can see, these are very specific, targeted themes that definitely only apply to one type of thing. So 2018 theme, so basically, I'll go to this website, you guys don't have to go. For a 10-year anniversary, we were really excited, and we decided, you know what, might as well pair up with somebody important like Steven Spielberg and make a good introduction video for our 2018 theme.
Yo, that link doesn't work.
I know, it doesn't work. Alright, hopefully this works.
How far are you going? About 10 years.
That is our theme for this year. Back to the roots. So, yay! I hope you guys appreciate our video. We put so much effort into it. It took us millions of dollars. So yeah, let's get autoplay out of here. Alright, back to the class. So yeah, this is the theme. Start thinking about ideas. Honestly, it can apply to most things, so just try to honestly run with it. Here are several inspirational images for you guys to bounce off of. Like back to roots as kids, technology, something. Think about the theme. It's great. So yeah, I don't know what the status is on lunch, but if lunch isn't here yet, I'll launch into my next lecture. But for the time being, we'll probably have like a 3-5 minute break, and you guys can chill for a bit. And we'll get back to you guys on lunch, and we will be back soon. The slides and the lecture video. user's music taste. So that definitely needs a machine learning API. I know freshman year I didn't know anything about machine learning, so I would have completely just dived away from that. But if you guys do know machine learning and you know APIs out there, maybe you want to integrate with that and make some cool recommendation software. One thing that's also really important for this is to you don't want to focus on a million features in your website. You're not going to actually have time to implement. You only have a month. For websites that have a million features, people spend years making with development teams that are huge. For us, you're going to be with a 3-person team and really focusing on a core set of a few amount of features, but that are really high quality is really important both for presenting your website and for making sure your website is functional. Because if you try implementing 100 ideas, power to you, likelihood that your website's going to break after 2 clicks. What else? So these are a few killer features that we thought, like generating a playlist for different periods of time. That seems unique, and that would be our killer feature that we want to invest our time into. Or maybe we want to recommend a time period, and that is our killer feature. But some of the stuff is compromising. If you focus on one of them, you're probably not going to want to focus on the others so much. Just FYI. And a good way to narrow that down in terms of your features is to kind of think about make a table based off how feasible you think it is. If you don't know how feasible it is, ask staff. We're more than happy to tell you. How much of an impact it would have on the quality of your website, and how much your own team cares about it. What if one of your team members really hates machine learning? So I think doing the machine learning thing probably isn't a good idea then for that person. And then you put all your ideas down and you see, okay, well for playlist generation, everyone thinks it's going to have a high impact, everyone's interested in it, and it's feasible. So let's just focus on that for getting that working first, and then focus on other things. All right, so that was basically a very brief introduction to ideation. I think later in this week, we're going to have a lecture on web design and user interface taught by somebody from Palantir. That will be done on Thursday. And on Friday, we'll have an alum come in and help you guys prepare for wireframing, which is basically, if you have an idea but you don't know how to sketch it out in terms of making it into a website, highly recommend coming to that lecture on Friday. I already talked to her, she's super cool, and she's basically done web design for a few years now, and has lots of good advice on how to wireframe, and tools to use, and what you should make sure you include. And that's just going to ensure that for the project pitches this weekend, you guys have the highest quality ideas, and most tools to talk about them. So yeah, that's basically it for ideation from me today. Now, I think you guys will really have to chill until lunches. I'm not sure when that is, but we'll let you guys all know. And then we're going to have Rupine over there. Hi, Rupine. Take over, and he's going to teach the rest of the day. And he's going to give you guys an introduction to HTML, CSS, and a really popular CSS framework called Bootstrap, which is a really easy way to make your website look pretty and a lot easier to manage the layout of your website. So, yeah, also, quick question. Just for food lunch purposes, can anyone here raise their hand if they are vegan? 2? Am I getting it right, 2? All right, nice. Anyone here gluten-free, can you raise your hand? 2, nice. Did I miss somebody? All right, no, all right, perfect. That's really helpful for us in making sure that we have correct amounts of food for you guys. And I think, yeah, the food should be out soon today. Hopefully we have everything today for all dietary restrictions. We'll make sure later this week we have everything.